had throughout the spring for anything from picking up dead animals in the road to branches in the road and trees down. So it's just a number of things that have created the deficit. And the money would be coming from the wage account, and we have a fair amount of money remaining in that account.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Coyle. Any questions? All right, hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve, Ed?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Kevin. All in favor? Ann, yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The next transfer is for the DPW fleet maintenance account. Coming from the highway wages full-time account, $1,461.51, and going to the fleet wages account. And the reason for the transfer is original budgeted amount did not include wage increases for FY 2020. Do I hear a motion to approve this, Ed?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. The next transfer, DPW Cemetery. This is coming from the Cemetery Improvement Account, $2,200 going to the Building Maintenance Account. And its reason for transfer is fire alarm repair. Are there any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve, Ed?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thanks, Kevin. So all in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. The last transfer for the DPW is for the Packagug Golf Course. The first transfer is coming from the contingency account, going to seasonal golf, amount requested $9,600. Can you tell us about this, Mr. Coyle?
Sure. This is something we identified earlier in the year during the budget season, so we did modify the seasonal golf account. I believe it was in the order of $8,000 or so going forward. Trying to do our best estimate of where we would be. I think we might still be running a little short. In January and February, that this number was projected to be low. So we have adjusted it going forward in the next budget cycle. But obviously this year we were short on the seasonal golf employee.
Okay.
But the money is in the contingency account that we've carried for $10,000. And fortunately, we didn't have to use any of that money.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Coyle. Any questions? All right, hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve, Ed?
Motion to approve.
Thanks. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
Okay, all in favor. Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
No. Yes. Excuse me.
All right, thank you. The next transfer for Packagug, also coming from the contingency account, $122.17. It's going to the overtime callback tech support line. Do I hear a motion to approve? Ed?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. All right, Mr. Coleman, Mr. Coyle, excuse me, we're all set. Thank you very much. The next transfers...
Thank you all. Have a good night.
You too. The next transfers are Police Department. The first transfer is coming from the patrolman line, $14,951.78. It's going to the building and ground repair line. And the reason for the transfer is the chiller repairs. So could you tell us about this, Chief?
We've had Renaud out, now probably like 4 times in the last 3 weeks, and they've had to make some significant repairs to the chiller part of the HVAC system for the air conditioning. It's just, it's another year, it's another significant transfer into that hunk of junk that we have for the HVAC system. Mm-hmm. And, it is what it is. We're looking at potentially replacing it with a new system, but, that's probably $350,000 to do. So obviously with everything that's going on now, that's not even on the drawing board.
Okay. I understand. Okay, thank you, Chief. So, Ed, do I hear a motion to approve this transfer?
Motion to approve?
Thank you. Kevin, do I hear a second?
Second.
Thanks, Kevin. So all in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. So the second of the police transfers is also coming from the patrolman account. Amount requested $2,854.08 and going to the sergeant's line. Reason is offset year-end payroll shortfall. Do I hear any questions? Okay, Ed, yes?
I have one. Sorry. Do we expect to have enough money in the patrolman account to cover the rest of the year's salaries?
We do.
And how much of are we expecting like a surplus or a rollover to next year?
Yeah, we should have some of our surplus that would be swept by Ed and would go back into the general fund.
Okay, thank you.
The reason, okay, yep. Just let me explain to you in case you had any question.
Yep.
The reason for this is we made an extra sergeant while it was made in a provisional status because there was one sergeant that was out on extended injury leave for a couple of years before retiring. So we knew that we were going to be short one, and we knew that we were going to be promoting Stephanie Hayward to sergeant. So she got a pay increase due to her provisional appointment, which has now become permanent with the retirement of Sergeant Kelleher that took place.
Thank you very much for the info.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Chief. And I'm looking at the budget-to-date report. The patrolman line has a available budget of $47,596 before that transfer that we just did. So there's still money in that account. So do I hear a motion to approve the transfer as read? Ed?
Yes, motion to approve.
Thank you, Ed. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thanks, Kevin. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. The last police transfer is coming from the patrolman line, $544.52 to the lieutenant's line. Reason is to offset year-end payroll shortfall. Do I hear a motion to approve, Ed?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. I think that's all set, Chief. And
All right,
Lieutenant.
thank you guys very much as always.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
You too. Thank you, Lieutenant.
I will be back. Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
So the next transfer is emergency management. And the two transfers are going into the same account, equipment account. Do I hear a motion to take these transfers together, Ed?
Motion.
Thank you, Ed. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thanks. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin is
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Okay. So the first is coming from miscellaneous shelter supplies, $472.90. The second is coming from the travel line, $250.00. And the reason for the transfers are to cover the cost of a laptop for emergency management. And we received a letter from Eric Otterson, who's the Emergency Management Director, telling us that the Emergency Management Department needs to be able to log on to a particular website as an essential function of their job, and they had to use a member's personal laptop to do so. So it's time that they got a laptop for that department. Are there any questions? Ed, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Thank you. Ed, Kevin, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor. Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Who is the planning board that's here? Planning board is on here, or is it just? That's not economic development, right?
Yeah, I don't have one for the planning board. Economic development.
Okay, the next transfer is concerns the economic development department. They're transferring from office supplies, transferring $299.02 to the economic development salary. Reason for transfer, shortage for salary account. Do I hear any questions? All right, hearing no questions. Ed, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Thank you. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
All in favor. Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Terrific. Thank you. All right, continuing. Next, we have the Department of Finance. We have a transfer from the clerical line, $5,369 going to buyback. And the reason for transfer is request to buy back vacation in accordance with employment contract. Mr. Kazanovich, can you tell us about that?
So there are two transfers that are before you tonight. One, the one you're acting on is for the CFO, town accountant, in accordance with the employment contract, and the other one is for the town manager, in accordance with her employment contract.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
I just actually couldn't hear who they were for. I'm sorry. I had a hard time hearing it.
That's okay, I'll repeat it. The first transfer, the one I just talked about, coming from the clerical line, $5,369 going to buyback, that's for the town accountant, a vacation buyback. And then any questions? Do I hear, yes.
Just a quick question. So that's a contractual obligation. Is that correct?
Yes. It's in accordance with the employment contract.
Thank you.
Ed, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Thank you. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
Okay, all in favor. Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. The next transfer is from the reserve fund. It is for the town manager's account. It is also a vacation buyback, $7,260. This is a vacation buyback option in accordance with employment contract, and this is for the town manager. Any questions? Ed, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ed. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
All in favor. Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. So our last transfers are general services and legal account. The first transfer coming from the water/sewer/heating line, $5,000 going into the electricity line. Mr. Kazanovich, do you want to tell us about that, please?
Sure. These are actually costs to purchase for our inventory, the new LED streetlights. A couple of repairs have been made. One was vandalized. These are normally covered under a 10-year warranty, except for a vandalized situation. If the individual is apprehended, we would seek some restitution. But a few repairs had to be made, and we had to replenish our inventory.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear any questions? Ed, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Thank you. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. The next request in the General Services Department is coming from the streetlights, which has a balance of $9,289.61, and the entire amount is going to the telephone line, the telephone account, which has a deficit balance right now. Can you tell us about that, Mr. Kesenovich?
Sure. So operationally, right now, we're about $4,000 in the hole. We have one more month invoice to pay, so this is an estimate. I can tell you we've issued some new phones to some of our recently hired inspectors over the course of the last year, as well as some new engineering positions, and we had to provide one through negotiations for the sewer division, leading to an increased cost for not only the purchase of those phones, but the use of those phones. So this should get us through the remaining balance of the fiscal year.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, hearing none. Ed, do I hear a motion to approve this amount?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ed. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Thank you. The last transfer is from the special litigation line, which has a balance of $10,000, and it's all being transferred to the general counsel line. So, Mr. Kesenovich, can you tell us about this?
So general counsel has a balance currently going into the final month of roughly $6,000. We just wanted to transfer a sum of money in there, anticipating a bill greater than 6. We don't know what that is. There are a number of legal matters currently being reviewed by our town council. We just wanted to prepare a transfer in order to meet whatever that liability is going to be for the final month.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, do I hear, Ed, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ed. Do I hear a second, Kevin?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. That is it for the transfers. The next thing is, on the agenda is the minutes. These are the minutes that Sharon has emailed to us. These are the minutes for 9/18/2019, October 15th, 2019, and November 20th, 2019. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes? So hearing no questions, okay, thank you. They are accepted as written. And if you do have a question, of course, you can bring that up at a later date, and that's fine, too. Mr. Kesenovich, anything else?
No, madam, just a quick update. We're still waiting to get some guidance and some information from the state. I know there have been some recently published reports in local media that would indicate that based upon the Department of Revenue's action to distribute state revenue for the month of July and August would leave communities to believe that we're basically looking at level funding of cherry sheet state aid, but that could be very misleading. I honestly don't believe the state knows what those numbers are going to be at this point. Hopefully, if it was level funded, that would be optimistic, quite honestly. We taking a snapshot view going into tonight's meeting, it looks like we accumulated a pretty healthy appropriation surplus. Because of our snow and ice, we have roughly $125,000 to $150,000 of surplus funds, when typically we go into the reserve for that much money. So that's really a turnaround of about $300,000 in that one area alone. So a quick glance shows we have about $1.2 million of surplus appropriation. That's above what we had in FY19. That's good news. What we don't know yet is what our revenue loss is going to be. But certainly we're positioned well going into the final month with, $1.2, $1.3 million of appropriation surplus is a way to offset any revenue loss. So we continue to file for our CARES Act money as well as our FEMA money for COVID-19 related expenditures. It's been a very time-consuming process, very labor-intensive, but hopefully we'll get approval for those applications. Our application for CARES money has been submitted. We're currently waiting word as to whether or not we will get approved for that, or how much of that we're going to get approved for. We're preparing our FEMA application as we speak. I don't know how long that's going to take once submitted. That may be in the pipeline for quite some time. But anyway, we'll keep you informed as information becomes available. Certainly, we're hoping to get state aid information sooner than later so we can begin our process of review and prepare amendments that will ultimately take to the town meeting floor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kazanovich. So, may I ask you, it sounded, from what I read in the newspaper, it sounded that it would be a definite that the towns had heard word that July and August would be level funded. Have you not received confirmation from the DOR about that?
No, we received confirmation from DLS that we would receive state aid consistent with the disbursement of current year funds, 2020.
All right. Okay.
That in no way indicates that we're going to get level funded state aid.
Right.
So I think that's, from a cash flow standpoint, they want to keep pumping money
Right.
into the municipalities so they don't have to go out and borrow money. But that does not mean we're going to have level state aid.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Kazanovich.
you're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions? Ed, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you. Kevin?
Second.
Thank you, Kevin. All in favor? Ann is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Michael?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.